It is a pretty nice day in the Bay Area, that is. We've got temperatures that are going to be about what you'd expect for this time of year, maybe a little warmer than the average, but not so in the Central Valley. That's because this fog that you're seeing here, not getting very far inland. It's all about topography. If you think about how the bay is laid out, the Bay Area, you got the coastal hills that are relatively low, and you've got sea level gap, which allows the moist, cool marine air to get inland. And so with that in mind, we're looking at temperatures for us that are manageable, temperatures inland that are anything but manageable. We're still in the 110, 105, 106 range, especially up around Redding. Looking at some of the fire zones here, that's up in Trinity. We can back down, we can take a look at the lake fire down here. I don't know if you can see that, but I think some of these fires, they're allowing to burn because they are in places where there's not a lot of infrastructure or things that are going to get damaged. And as we all know, the best fire management is fire in terms of getting things, cleaning out brush in areas that haven't burned. I mean, I grew up in Paradise, and that was a place that hadn't burned really, at least on the ridge line up in the town of Paradise for as long as I can remember, which was a long time. And it was just, it needed it, right? And sadly, it consumed homes. But the point being, fire management might be going on a little bit with these guys. Okay, so this is right now. Let's say this about 10 o'clock. It's 82 degrees, and let's see where we are there. 84 degrees in Chico, 93 in Redding. It's 66 in Napa. It's 95 down towards Visalia. So this is the surface observation map. And the first thing, it's the visible satellite I look at, and then I go right to this, especially in these heat waves, because you can see where it's going to be hot again. And you know darn well it's going to be the Central Valley, the east side especially, is going to continue to be very warm, very hot, if I would say. A heat warning is an excessive heat warning in effect. For the Bay Area, there's a heat advisory. It's not such a big deal. So our weather pattern right now is manageable. Tomorrow, we get a lot of fog again in the morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, it burns back quick, and we warm up in the Bay Area. It's going to heat up in the Central Valley as well. Temperatures tomorrow in the Bay Area, mid-90s inland. And then on Thursday, temperatures could go into low 100s for the Bay Area. So that means you're continuing to bake big time in the Central Valley. So let's take a look at this. Let's see, okay, oops, I want to do this. I want to grab this. Okay, so this is the GFS model, and it's just surface temperatures, but and just look for the footprint. So I'm going to go to this afternoon. This is this afternoon, and I'm going to draw a box around us so you can see if you can keep your eye on this area right here as I toggle through the time. So you see by this afternoon, the Central Valley did 112 up here in Red Bluff, 108 in Redding. So you see our little notch, which is typically going to be a little cooler just because you have the marine air. So that's tomorrow, or that's this afternoon. Here's tomorrow afternoon, same thing. And you see the notch develop again. So that's Wednesday afternoon, 113 in Sacramento, so hotter. Thursday is going to be hotter, still 113, 116 up in Red Bluff, but still our notch slightly exists, but our inland bay valleys are going to get touched with the white, if you will, which are over 100 degrees. So then we go through time. I'm just going to pulse through. Look at this. The whites keep popping up in the Central Valley. We're going to have a nice pattern after Thursday in terms of not typical, but slightly above average temperatures. But the Central Valley is they're over 100 every day. I'm sorry, I'm just going through this, but look at that thing pulse. I'm going to go right to the end of this run, and we're on at July 24th, and it's still popping the 100 plus degree readings in the eastern side of the Central Valley, in the San Joaquin, Sacramento valleys. So, what's the story on that? Well, we're not looking at a lot of wind, which is good. We are seeing a lot of fires out west, and a lot of our fires, I mentioned that before, but I do think, like this Trinity fire, this area up here, the Shelley fire, I think they are kind of letting it burn on itself, trying to get it, they feel like they have pretty good control on these fires, is my point, and they're going to allow them to kind of burn themselves out while in the process doing forest management, right? Which is, I know it's hard on these men and women that fight these fires, because the forecasters are like, oh my gosh, like look at all the fires. The grays are fires that have all been put out. So we go to the coast because we can, San Francisco's Ocean Beach. And let's see if I can start it up. Not a lot of swell, a lot of fog, a lot of wind. Temperatures coastside today are going to be in the upper 50s, low 60s. And then the 5-day forecast. The top tier number represents our inland numbers. And you see Tuesday, Wednesday, we could hit 100 degrees on Wednesday. Probably will in some spots. But then you see temperatures start to come down on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They start to cool down. Those are the far inland spots. And those areas, Concord, Livermore, whatever, those inland spots are being impacted by that Central Valley heat that's bleeding our way. But places like Redwood City, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, we're all going to be protected by this at least persistent, semi-persistent flow of marine air. I'll show you one more thing here. This is, let's see if I can pull this up. This is the profiler. I showed it to you last night or yesterday. And time runs this way on the profiler. So this is the current, where the tip of the arrow is the current time. And what you can see is last night, you see the marine layer getting deeper, and then you see it pinching down during the day or this morning. And it's back down to about 1,000 feet. So that's why the inland valleys aren't getting a lot of cooling. And you can see I use the blue line as the inversion, right? The blue line is Drew, but where the blue is. So there you go. That's the acoustic profile. I'm going to link that to my YouTube page because I had a couple folks ask for that. So I will do that. As soon as I do this recording, I'll get on and link the profiler. You want to go to the Fort Ord profiler. There's other profilers as well. Fort Ord does a nice job acoustically measuring the marine layer. Okay,